This very pretty and busy looking game we're taking a look at today is SPAZ 2, or Space Pirates and Zombies 2. It is a follow-up to, as you might have guessed, SPAZ, or Space Pirates and Zombies, though from what I understand this plays very differently from what that did as far as gameplay is concerned. Obviously, with this one has VR support. I will say that this is actually a flat game, so you do not need VR to play it. It is something that they added, it looks like, after the fact. But I do want to point out that they did it very well. It wasn't something that was just shoehorned in. Looks like it's mainly intended for, well, I don't know. This kind of looks like a hybrid of the Rift controller and also the Vive. So maybe they're just trying, rather than do two sets of icons or avatars for your hands here, they just did one. But it can also be played with a controller or a mouse and keyboard. So very versatile. And I think that says a lot about the game in itself. I'm going to go through some of the stuff. I'm going to tell you now I cannot cover everything in this game because there is just so much of it. But I will say that I really think it lends well to VR and could be a better experience overall in VR than the flat, just because it's a beautiful looking game, and there's a lot of stuff that on a flat screen will look great, and then when it's in VR and like all these little spores and things that are coming right at me right now, it's really, really well done. So we'll bring up the menu here. I think I have the sound turned down now because this part's really, really loud. So maybe I'll give it just a little bit more as we're playing. I also don't want to feel like I'm screaming. So we'll go back here. Different modes. Campaign is in there. There's also almost like a arcade mode where you just kind of go in there and it's a lot less stressful and stuff like that. I've been playing mostly just the campaign. So we'll hop in here. This is a kind of a hybrid space exploration, management, resource management, and then also a battle simulator, space battle simulator. With that said, you really have some options to kind of do all three, as much or as little as you want. The way I've been playing, which is kind of an explorer, I've been playing most of the game in this mode, which is the star map. Now, if you notice, everything moves when I move, so you can kind of, if you get in a jam, you can kind of stop and plan out what's going on. I won't get into the game just yet as far as we're in the game, but the actual fighting and all that stuff yet, just to kind of give you an overview of how big this game is. I'm looking around the map. I've been all the way around the outside edge just so you can kind of see, but the map goes all the way up and around, way up there that you can't even see yet, all the way back down to here. So you open up new areas by exploring them. There's different pickups and power-ups in those areas, different events, randomly generated things. So it's one of those deals where no two games are ever the same. I really like it. This is a really good, just chill kind of game, especially if you do plan on playing in this mode where you're just kind of more exploring and getting your experience from discovering things more than blowing stuff up. But again, you do have that option as well. Just to kind of go through some of the resources, RZ is res. That is basically fuel, I'd say is probably the closest thing I can compare it to in here. The more stuff you have going on your ship, the more it's going to use. Then you have, I believe they call these goons, but these are basically just crewmen, if you will. The more of these you have, the faster your ship repairs and stuff like that. However, the more of those you have, the more res it takes, and so on and so forth. So there's kind of a balancing act. Also, that limit there is clearly for looks, because since I've started the game, I've never actively bought any, but I keep getting more. So I don't know if that's good or bad over time. Final thing here, as far as major resources, that's going to be your credits, or actually salvage is what they call them here, but basically this is what you use to buy things and stuff like that. There's a quest system, at least here in the campaign mode. There's also a really good tutorial. I'm not going through it, despite it being good, because I checked a few other videos online, and they're basically all just the tutorial. So if you want to see that, you can go elsewhere. But if you actually want to get into the meat and potatoes of the game, this will be the look for you. So one main thing that's really cool about this game is you can customize it. Not only can you play the way that you want, as far as whether you want to do battles, but you also customize your ship in any way that you want. So this is I have like 2 upgrades on this thing. So for the most part, this is the basic ship. But the way you actually make your ship is let's go ahead and clear to spine. You have all these different parts, and we're out in space now. And you basically take these parts. There's nose parts, there's engine parts, there's wings. This is called the spine, which is basically all of your main connectors. So all your wing parts, which usually have weapons or defense systems on them, go to the center spines. Your engine goes on the back, and your nose goes on the front. So different engines have different characteristics, different noses, just like the wings all have different systems and things like that. The more you play, you actually go and you can buy more spines. So I've seen where ships are actually like, if we say this is a, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 blocks here. I've seen ships that were, instead of just 4 blocks high and 1 block wide, they were like 7 or 8 wide and 10 tall. So really, obviously it's going to take you a while to do that, but as I mentioned, this is a very chill kind of game for the most part. So we're just gonna go ahead and put our ship back together with the best parts that we have, which I'm guessing are already set. Let's get our engine going. This is in VR, as I'm playing in VR right now. It does actually recommend when you start it up that you play sitting down. I would agree with that. You don't really get a benefit from standing up, unlike in most games. But there's also a whole bunch of customization options as well. So if you did want to stand up for whatever reason, or maybe you like something on the view better standing up than sitting down, you have that option. So it's really just a matter of personal preference here. But save some time. You kind of get the idea. You're just going to click, drag, connect, and then you can kind of customize it any way you want. Obviously, this is for someone who has a lot more wing parts. I mentioned the weapons. They can be anything from shotgun type weapons, laser, missile based, sniper bait type, just all kinds. So I don't really have all that stuff. I'm just going to go with my basic slightly upgraded ship, and we're going to move on. I'll go into, while we're here, let's go back to the map. I'll also go to, let's bring up the options, perhaps. Speaking of all the different options, you have a separate menu here for all your VR options. There's everything in here from how you control the ships to how you view in the world and what happens when you move your head, whether that turns your ship or you just looks around in the world. Graphical settings, everything like that. There's a lot of comfort level settings, even though I'd say this is probably one of the more comfortable games I've played as far as not getting VR sick. There's still all kinds of tweaks and everything like that. And then as far as the normal type options, there's just a ton of those as well. So we go in here, everything from difficulty, normal stuff you'd expect, to configure your weapons, what you're prioritizing. I mentioned the different types. This will give you a good idea of what's on the game, because I definitely have not unlocked them all. So it can be a little overwhelming, I think. If I had to say something negative about it, is there is a ton of stuff in it, but I think that's at the expense of giving the person who's playing options. So if you want a big mean ship that has to get close range to do any damage but has high defense, a big tank ship, you can do that. If you want to do kind of a long range sniper type ship that is really fast but takes pop shots, you can do that too. So it's really just to get in, kind of play, and see what you like and what you don't like, and tailor your experience to the way you want. So I think that's really cool that they give you that flexibility.
Map updated.
So I just updated the map. I got some more information. I mentioned res. The way you farm the res is you go to these little points here, and I'm not going to do this one right now because this is an owned point. You can tell because this whole region is owned by this red color faction, so everything that's in it. You can go over here and harvest basically from there, but I think they kind of don't like it when you do that. So it's usually best that, especially if you see that number there, 73, that's kind of like a power level. I am 10, so it would not do well for me to mess around here with these guys.
Awareness expanded.
We're kind of going around looking for things. There's also little events that kind of go off. There's pirates, like this guy here. A bandit, sorry. So what you can do is, he's a level 8, so I should be able to take him. So we'll go ahead and do that. But what you'll also see is the AI guys. So like this yellow guy, he's with this yellow faction. They will actually start fighting the bandits, and you can go in and either help them or go in and kind of cause a ruckus for everybody. This gives you an idea of what his ship's about, this bandit. I should still be able to take him, I think. So we'll do that just to kind of show off the combat. One thing when we do get into the combat, because it might be loud and I might not be able to talk about it too much, is that ship I built is the mothership. So within that mothership, and I think I can bring it up here, you actually have a hangar, and in that hangar you have other smaller ships. So and you can pick up different types of them as you're playing and destroying other ships. So these are all the blueprints for other, I don't know what you would call them, fighter ships maybe, to send out. They'll have different names, like Get the Gimp, and they'll have different, oh, that guy looks actually pretty much better than what I got now, so let's add him on there. Yeah, and they all each have their own little set of weapons and all that too. So there we go. So now we've got that little guy going for us. But as you shoot the other players' ships, they will usually drop blueprints, so that way you can then build that type of fighter ship. But when you're actually in combat, what you'll see is, oh, he's coming at me. Let's do it. You can control your mothership, or you can control the smaller ship. You can switch back and forth, or you can set it to auto, which I always do auto, so hopefully we don't die here, because that'd be kind of embarrassing. But let's go. Oh, now there's another bandit that showed up. That's not cool. Here we go. So combat in this is, I like it a lot. It's very, if you ever played, ooh, let's get this guy. If you played something like the Assassin's Creed Black Flag, yeah, this is not going to end well. Good thing I saved. It's kind of like that. So even though we're in 3D, this is actually kind of like a 2D plane that we're fighting in now. Oh, we're getting beat up. We might be able to take him. Rebel Galaxy is another game that's kind of similar in the fact that even though you're in space and everything looks 3D, you kind of stay on a 2D plane. So like if I have... Yeah, I'm going to die. If I have... if that other one wouldn't have showed up, I would have been alright, I think. You can have certain types of guns on one side of your ship. So say you have close range stuff on your right side, but then you have longer range stuff on the left side. Then you can kind of maneuver your ship to fight best how you want. Maybe this guy will help me this time. Okay, yeah, he can. Oh, this guy's getting mad at me. And he's way stronger. So, oh, there, he got rid of me. Okay. So yeah, again, this whole little tactical thing where they don't move unless you do, that really helps a lot. These little silver things are lore. They're really good to just kind of give you some experience. It's a way that tells you a little bit of the backstory.
You better fork over everything you got.
Hmm. Hostile. What level is he? I can't see what he is. Oh, he's level 15. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll probably die again, but yeah. We'll lose again, sure, why not? There is a button so that you can auto-target with all of your guys. So your fighter ships and your main ship will fight all of them. We'll fight the same target.
Shields offline.
Oh, he's got me. We might be reloading again. It actually has not been this difficult at all this whole time I've been playing. So I don't know if I just loaded at a really bad point or what. But don't let this deter you, because I've actually just been doing a lot of exploring and a lot of building and stuff. And it's been pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like all my guns over there are toast.
Shields offline.
Let's see if we can't get over here. There, they're back on now. Need my little fighters to do a little more. Uh-oh. We're losing our parts. As you're fighting, you can lose parts, and then you can tractor them back on sometimes. But not this time. Goodness, I'm going to have to head back a few steps on the map. Well, at least you're getting a good look at the combat. So let's go back to right here. All right, yeah, let's get away from. Oh! Get away! Yeah, go chase him. Another thing is there's the other pilots in these ships. You can kind of trade with them and do other like team up with them. You can give them a tribute, which basically you bribe them, but you carry on relationships with them in the sense that they remember everything that you've done with them. You can trade with them. Same thing with the spaceports. The more you trade with a certain spaceport, the better of a discount that you'll get. These lore sections that I was starting to look at earlier, they tell you the backstory.
Elsa was born and raised on
Tell you about characters. The story, in a very quick summary, is basically post-apocalyptic space. So if you take something like Fallout or Mad Max, but put it in a space settings, that's pretty much what you're getting with this, with an infestation of space zombies, I guess. So that's where the title comes in. So this is a neutral area. This is all white. So eventually you can build a star base, which I can't right now, but you could, any neutral territory like this, you could build a little base and do stuff like that. That is a bandit camp that we're not going to mess with. So a lot of the game, again, if you want, and this is the way I've been playing it, I've been going around, I've been exploring,
Countless efforts have been made to
gathering resources, trying to get a better ship. I started off at, like, I think 4 power levels, what you start off with, and I'm at 10 now. Just do a quick. Oh, you're too strong for me. I'd like to get into a battle that I can actually win, but as you can see, the power level for most things around here are much higher. There's a weaker one. Let's see if we can't. He's running from me. He knew what I had in mind. So let's do this. Let's see what this quest is and actually go ahead and do that. I think it wanted us to hack something over here. That guy's trying to get me. You can see the res being used, or like the fuel, as I travel. If you set your engines to move faster, your res goes down faster. Makes sense. And we'll just go. And you level up. As you can see, there's your ship gets a level. Every time you level up, you get a free perk, and then you get to choose from 3 different ones. So again, it's more of a way to kind of customize the way you want to play. Yeah, see, these guys are... Okay, so these guys are fighting, so I can choose to help either one of them, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to move 2, and then I'm going to join him. Join the higher... So I can just join and fight everybody. I can join the higher guy or fight everyone, I guess, is that one. So I'm going to go ahead and help this guy, even though he totally doesn't need it.
Nice, thank you.
But I should be able to win this. And then I am now friendly with that guy.
Now I must be moving along. Farewell.
Yeah, so we're going to...
Target locked. Obliterating.
I hope that wasn't the stronger guy, now that I think about it. So now I kind of feel like it might have been. Like he already killed the weaker guy, and now I'm picking a fight. Yeah, all these little ships or rocks in the way, you can destroy those too.
Target locked. Obliterate. Relay point.
Okay, good.
I love you.
That's new. So there's some parts over here. Let's see if I can't pick these up. I don't know if these fell off of the guy I was helping or if they fell off the ship we were destroying, but picking up free parts in space is much better than paying for them in a spaceport. So let's see if we can't get these. I actually have faster engines. Maybe I should have. No, it doesn't look like it's going to let us. Oh, there we go. Whoa! How about a ship part in your face? Oh, okay. So if I had a piece missing, I could go ahead and put it on. I think what's going to happen is once I leave, it's going to let me pick it up like a reward type thing. What is that? I can't pick it up. Yeah, pick it up. Oh, don't shoot it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go back. I think these are the spoils that we just got. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So we want to take all. So now we have all these things, and if we wanted, we could attach them on our ship, because we have these different things now. I'm not going to go through that right now. I just want to kind of give a quick review of Space Pirates and Zombies 2, a space exploration fighting battle game that you can play in VR or with a mouse and keyboard or joystick. It's basically just a plethora of options for you. So if you want a fun little game, it's an indie game. It's only about $15-$20 normally. I think I got it on sale for around what, 8, 10, something like that. Definitely, if you're one of those dollars per hour type gamers, this is absolutely a game you should check out. So I highly recommend it, VR or otherwise. And hopefully you can play a little better than what I did today. But just choose your battles wisely. I'll say that. So thanks for checking it out.